We are here tonight at Drexel University for a panel discussion on the 60-year anniversary of the Today Show on NBC.
This morning on our special series, 60 Years of Today, Tom Brokaw and Jane Pauley. The year was 1976. Jimmy Carter was president. Rocky was a box office sensation. And Tom and Jane teamed up to host the Today Show. Some of the biggest stories ever unfolded on their watch. We're going to catch up with them in a moment. But first, a look back.
How do you feel about the Today Show turning 60?
Well, I was there when we celebrated a 30th anniversary. Dave Garroway was there, and Frank Blair, Jack LaScully, all the originals. So when you think about it, that was half a lifetime ago. I'm thrilled. It's the most elite club I will ever be a part of, and I assume that every 10 years or so, as long as I live, I will be able to be invited back to an anniversary of the Today Show celebrates, 70 and 80 and so on.
Where do you see the Today Show going in the future?
Well, I think that it's a little like being in a plane at 30,000 feet and you see the landscape below you kind of slide slowly by, and you don't perceive how far up you are and how fast you're going. The Today Show, I think, is a little like that. It's changeless, and yet it's constantly changing. So that I think the Today Show will be completely recognizable in 10 years. There's something about the morning format. As much as humans are changing, in the morning we're still the same people who do not know what happened while we were asleep. And morning television is the only day part in the vernacular where people don't have 16 million other sources to tell them what has happened on our iPhones, and we'll probably have chips in our head at some point. But once you sleep, when you wake up, you don't know what happened. Morning television will always be the place that you'll go to find out if the world is still there. Is it safe to go out? So that function won't change. That's changeless.
Now, what's your most memorable moment from when you were on the Today Show?
Well, you have to understand that I have no memory left. And it's like I wasn't pressing the record button. To do live television is to have to be aware of who I'm talking to, what we're talking about. I've asked you a question, what are you saying? At the same time, I'm listening to what you're saying and might want to follow up on it. On the other hand, I've also got to be thinking about where, my roadmap, where did I want to go and what time is it? And someone's giving me cues and maybe to wrap it up, or 1 minute, 2 minutes. That was 1 minute, 2 minutes. So there's so much going on. Remembering, processing this material, filing it, I wasn't doing. Tom Brokaw remembers my life better than I do, but it is a little frustrating for me that if it weren't for the videotape or the books, I might not remember decades of my life.
How has news changed today versus whenever you were on the Today Show?
We were far more cognizant of objectivity. We might have been deluded as to our own personal objectivity. I would acknowledge that, but fairness, it kind of mattered. If we had a segment called After 8, and it was essential that we have a pro and a con, and on every question, the pros and the cons balance was equal, even in cases where clearly not all questions are my turn, your turn, completely even. But we were far more aware of that. Now, not so much the Today Show, I think particularly on cable. Opinion and objectivity is entirely in the mind of the viewer. If you are saying what I agree with, then you are objective. If you are not, then you are biased. I'm sorry, that's unfortunate, but that's where we are today.
Now, what do you think of the format of the show today? Do you consider it a news show or entertainment or a mix?
It's always been a mixture. We were always the news division. Good Morning America was not, and they could do things that we couldn't do. But that said, we could do almost anything we wanted. I think the program is segmented so that you kind of know where you're going to get the news and where you're going to get hijinks. And the program definitely has more personality, more hijinks than it used to. That is probably what the viewer expects. I would not have survived watching Katie fly through the air in her Peter Pan outfit. It looked like fun, but I would not have been able to pull that off. So on the other hand, as soon as something happens, boom, you're a news program. And 9/11 was a classic case. There was no hesitation. Matt Lauer was the place to be, and then of course Tom Brokaw took over coverage. But it's both. It can do both. It's a hybrid, and we now know what the word hybrid means. So,
from Drexel University, Debbie Donnelly, Metro4.com.